In this video, we're going to show you how to install the steering rack bellows boot on your Ford Taurus, located on the steering rack. With the vehicle raised and supported, we're going to use our 19mm socket to loosen and remove our lug nuts. Go ahead and grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. With the wheel removed, you want to go ahead and start by soaking down the points of contact here with some rust penetrant. Now on this inside here, we have a jam nut. We want to go ahead and loosen this first. We're going to use a 21mm wrench. You want to put that on there, and we want to loosen that. Now for any reason, if the jam nut is spinning with the inner tie rod, what you're going to do is use a 13mm wrench. You're going to put it on the inner tie rod, and then you can go ahead and stabilize the inner tie rod while you loosen that nut. So we're just going to crack that one loose. Now we'll go ahead and focus on the outboard nut here. We're going to use our impact gun and a 22mm socket. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this. Now what's happening here is our tie rod stud here is actually spinning. So you can do a couple different things here. You could work the gun back and forth and try and zip that nut off. The other option is to go ahead and use an open end or box end wrench on the nut and then hold the top with a socket or wrench. Try capturing this here with our pliers. Here it is. Now the next thing we want to do is go ahead and spin off your outer tie rod. Now what we're going to do is we're going to count the amount of full revolutions it takes to unthread the outer tie rod from the inner tie rod. And in my hand I have a crayon. I'm simply going to go ahead and write this number on my inner fender liner. You can write it on a piece of paper if you want, but you want to go ahead and document that. So that way there, when you install it, you're going to get yourself a preliminary alignment. You still need to have the alignment professionally done after you alter any steering component. Roughly 24 turns. I'm going to go ahead and document that. Now your vehicle itself, chances are it's going to be different, but go ahead and write it down, whatever it is. I want to go ahead and remove our inner tie rod nut here, or our jam nut. I'm going to spray this down with some rust penetrant so you can get that to zip off easy. Now if you have a 21mm deep socket, you could probably put that on your impact gun and go ahead and zip that nut off. If you just have the 21mm wrench, you just do it the way we're doing it. Now if you follow the inner tie rod up here, we have a clamp holding our bellows boot. We're simply going to use a pair of pliers. I'm going to go ahead and pinch this. Take that off and set it aside. Now if you're following the bellows boot back, there's going to be a metal band clamp on the inboard portion here. And what you might see is that there's a little block right here where the clamp is put together. Now the clamp is a one-time use. I'm going to go ahead and use a tool here. It's simply a screwdriver with a notch in it. And we can go ahead and put that into that here. And we're going to go ahead and knock this off. Use your screwdriver and just pop that band right off like so. Pop the boot off, and we're going to go ahead and slide this down. There's the band. You can simply go ahead and discard that. That was a one-time use. Take your bellows boot, slide that all the way over. Now here's a little tip. You can see that the boot itself doesn't reach the rack. I'm going to go to the other side of the vehicle, and I'm going to manually turn that wheel. That's going to allow that boot to come in a little bit. Let's go ahead and pop that boot onto the rack. Now once that's in place, you want to go ahead and take the supply securing strap, and I'm going to go ahead and start that. Kind of round that out a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and slide that back into place. Now we want to put this on the inner band section. Now I want to adjust this pigtail on our strap in a spot that I can get in there with some pliers and cutters. Once we have that lined up on there, I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to grab some needle nose pliers. I'm going to grab that and just tighten that down. Once you have that good and secure, go in with the cutters, snip off the excess. Now I'm going to go back to the other side, bring that wheel back. We're going to use a tie strap for the outer portion of our boot. Install the jam nut. Go ahead and take your outer tie rod and we're going to start to thread that on. Now ours was 24 full revolutions with it pointing up. Bring our jam nut back. Go ahead and line that up. Let's go ahead and get the nut started. And let's go ahead and tighten that down. On a ball joint stud here, we're going to use a 10mm 6-point to hold that while we tighten this down. Now you won't be able to use a 12-point because it actually doesn't grab. So it's important that you use that on the top. And the reason why we're using our wrench on this here is that the nut is a lock nut and it's pinched at the top. So if you just throw an impact gun on this, it may just spin the ball joint stud. I'm going to torque down the outer tie rod nut here to 111 foot-pounds. There it is. Now if you have the ability to do so, you want to go ahead and torque the jam nut to 46 foot-pounds. In our case, we're going to just snug that down with our big pliers here. After that's torqued, you want to go ahead and level out your tie rod end here. So you can use your pliers, grab this here, and just kind of twist that down. We just want this kind of level with the knuckle itself. Now you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side if you need to. Don't forget, after altering or replacing any of these components, you do need to have it professionally aligned. This is going to help with premature component wear as well as tire wear. Grab your wheel, line up the studs, and we'll go ahead and get our lug nuts started. I want to go ahead and get all these started by hand, and then we'll come on back and snug them down. Now let's go ahead and snug these down. Once these are tight, let's go ahead and torque them. Now let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. You're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.